Hey everyone, welcome back to Instrumentation Lectures. In the last lecture, we had discussed about YouTube manometers. In this one, we are going to discuss about single column manometers. So let's start our lecture. Single column manometers are modified form of simple YouTube manometers. The difference is one of the limbs in the YouTube manometer is converted into a reservoir having large cross-sectional area with respect to the cross-sectional area of the other limb. Usually, the cross-sectional area of the reservoir is about 100 times that of the other limb. Also, since the reservoir resembles a well, these type of manometers are also called well-type manometers. Another name is cistern-type manometers. Now the one shown in the figure is a vertical type single column manometers. That is vertical type single column manometer. We also have an incline type single column manometer and it looks like this. Now first let us discuss about the vertical type single column manometer in detail. We will fill the manometric fluid in the manometer till it has some level in the reservoir. So let us do that. Okay, this is the manometer fluid getting filled and both these levels are same. That is, when the manometer is not connected anywhere, the level of manometric fluid in both the limbs are same. Let us now connect the manometer to some pipe or container which has a fluid and we need to measure the pressure of fluid at some point. As soon as we connect it to the pipe, the fluid will flow out of the pipe or container and apply some pressure on the manometric fluid like this. And due to this pressure applied, the level of manometric fluid in the reservoir will dip by a tiny amount. So, if this was the initial level, the new level will be somewhat lower. And let's mark these differences, dou H. Now, corresponding to this part, the manometric fluid will rise in the right limb, like this. Note that it will rise to a height such that the volume rise in the right limb will be equal to the fall in volume of manometric fluid in the reservoir. So, if this height is H2 and capital A is the cross-sectional area of reservoir and small a is the cross-sectional area of the right limb, we can find the volume fall in the reservoir as A into dou H and this will be equal to the volume rise in the right limb which will be small a into H2 and this can be written as dou H equal to A into H2 by capital A. Okay, now let us find the equation for pressure in the pipe. Let us say at this point, since we have already used the letter A, I am naming it as point X and this height be H1. Also, let us mark this level as level Y, that is this level. Okay, so pressure at level Y due to fluids in the left limb will be Px plus rho1 G H1 plus rho m G into dou H, where rho1 is the density of fluid. Let me write that down. Rho1 density of fluid in pipe and rho m is the density of manometric fluid. Okay, now since pressures will be same at the same level, this will be equal to the pressure due to fluids in the right limb. Therefore, we can equate this to P atmosphere because the right limb is open to atmosphere plus rho m GH2 plus rho m G into dou H because this distance is dou H, right? Now rearranging the equation we got, we will get Px equal to P atmosphere plus ρm GH2 minus ρ1 GH1 plus dou H into ρm G minus ρ1 G. Usually, this dou H term is neglected as the dou H value is approximately equal to 0. You can also see this fact from this equation because capital A is very much greater than small a. So, in practical scenarios, we can use the equation Px equal to P atmosphere plus ρm GH2 minus ρ1 GH1. That is, we can neglect this term. Okay. Now note that the equation we got here is for absolute pressure. To obtain gauge pressure, we equate P atmosphere equal to 0 and gauge pressure Px will be equal to ρm GH2 minus ρ1 GH1. Okay, that's all for vertical type single column manometers. Moving on to the next subclass, we have incline type single column manometers. Before discussing further, let us understand why we need incline type single column manometers. For that, let us take a simple piezometer. Suppose the change in pressure is really small, the level of manometric fluid will only change by a tiny amount. So, we might not be able to accurately measure the change in case of manometers with vertical columns. The reason being that the change may be even lesser than the accuracy of the ruler we are using to measure the change. It is here the inclined manometers comes to the rescue. If we tilt the column by an angle theta, for the same change in pressure, the rise in fluid level will be same vertically, but now the fluid will travel a longer distance along the tube. So if this distance is L and this distance is H, you can see that for the same rise in fluid level, the distance L is greater than the distance H. And we can relate them by H equal to L sin theta or L equal to H by sin theta. From this equation, we can see that if we decrease the value of theta, the value of L increases. That is, the fluid will travel a much longer distance along the tube and therefore we can measure the smaller changes in pressure more accurately. So technically we have studied inclined U-tube manometers now. We will use the same principle for our case of inclined type single column manometers. Here is the figure. So we need to find the pressure at this point and let this point be A and this height be H1 and this height be H2. For the pressure equation, we can use the same one derived in the case of vertical type single column manometers, that is this one. So writing the pressure equation, PA equal to P atmosphere plus ρm GH2 minus ρ1 GH1. Note that here H2 is equal to L sin theta. Therefore, we can modify this as P atmosphere plus ρm G L sin theta minus ρ1 G H1, and theta is this angle. Okay, so this is the equation for inclined type single column manometers, and using this manometer we can measure the slightest changes in pressure more accurately. We will end our lecture here. In this video, we learned about single column manometers and inclined tube manometers. If you have any doubts or questions, leave them in the comments below and I will try the best of my knowledge to answer them, or some other viewer can also help you. In the next video, we will start our discussion on differential transducers. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.